This is Die, side-scrolling 2D platformer. Think Kirby meets Super Meat Boy. That's the best way I can describe it. So we enter this overworld. We can collect pigments. So basically, the main character is called Hugh, fittingly enough, to fit in with the theme of color. You're collecting 5 pigments per level. Basically, the 4 necrolytes, or basically mages or wizards, stole the color from this world. And it's your job to get it back, or basically collect all these pigments from all the levels. 60 pigments per world is minimum. And the more pigments you collect, the more levels you unlock. And it's basically just a collect-a-thon. It's pretty self-explanatory, honestly. And basically, that's kind of it, and just kind of enjoy the gameplay. I'll introduce my couch. Actually, they can introduce themselves.
Sure. My name is Lordimus. Mike. I am one of the co-devs with my buddy here.
My name is Danny. I go by Manern. But yeah, so we're from Backcountry Games. This is actually a game that we made. Anyway, so yeah, we're happy to be sitting on the couch with TGH. This is awesome.
So I did most of the level design and the coding, and Danny did most of pretty much all of the art, music, and UI work. One of the things you'll notice is, as TGH goes through these levels, is that each level contains 5 pigments. So he talked about Hugh restoring color to the world. So each time he grabs a pigment, you'll see the screen kind of pan over and color be restored to the level a bit. And then when you get back to the hub of the world, so we're in the purple world right now, the first world, you'll see the pigments are actually floating about in the main area, and color will be slowly restored to that area as well. So that's kind of the main theme and the point of what this little dude's doing.
Right, and as far as mechanics go, it's pretty straightforward. It's got your standard jump, your wall jump, wall stick. And then, but we also have a float mechanic, which you'll see him use, especially just frequently throughout the game. Yeah, not there apparently. But so the float will just help control your fall and help you just control your movement. So there's an example of the float.
So we did just see the first example of an intentional death. Here's another one. So the scroll levels in this game. To allow you to kind of push the limits and not get caught up by the auto-scroller boundaries, you can actually self-destruct on right past the checkpoint, and you will respawn on the checkpoint with the camera immediately panning to you. So that's one of the IL strats and the strats that's used here as well.
Whoops. I will be saying, so that's 1 death. I'll be donating $1 for every unintentional death. Again, there are quite a few intentional deaths meant to gain time, but
yeah. So Mike and I will be donating $5 for every unintentional death.
Oh boy!
And then no pressure. And then some of our friends back on the couch behind us will also be donating per unintentional death.
Yep, speaking of, $50 donation from Duke Firebird. I cannot wait for the Die one. Myself and the developers, Lurtimus and Minere, will be donating per unintentional death during Die. We love you, TGH.
Love you too, Duke. Thanks, man. Whoops.
Yeah, Duke made some absolutely incredible perlers that they showed just before the show. And anyways, and he was nice enough to make some for Mike and myself as well. So
those are going up immediately when we get home.
Yeah, so thank you. Those are fantastic.
And this is a huge privilege too to be here supporting this awesome cause, and it's really been great to watch Teach put in so much work and skill into this run. It's really progressed really well over the last couple months, and really fun to watch.
Well, and it's just strange to watch something that, I mean, we made the game, but we never reached this level of proficiency with the game. To see somebody just completely blow through it is incredible.
Also, a little bit about the speedrun mode we're doing. It's any % no hard mode. So in this game, basically to 100%, there's a normal and a hard mode for each level. The normal mode is what you're seeing here. Basically grab all 5 pigments and you're done. For hard mode, we remove all the checkpoints, and there's extra obstacles, other death spikes, etc., just stuff like that. The reason we do the no hard mode is basically just to tone down the run a bit, brings it down to a normal, to a quicker time. It also just removes a lot of the repetition because you'd be going back and doing basically the same level, just again, it wouldn't be as much fun as this.
Yeah, just a harder version of the same level. And then within the game, there are 3 different types of levels. There's the normal level, which you see here. There's also the auto-scrollers. And then later in each world, there's a set of challenge levels. And the challenge levels are a little bit different. We'll talk about them whenever we get to that point.
Yeah, the game's very straightforward, just like Couch said. But there are a lot of faster ways to do things. For instance, like you'll see some shortcuts in some levels that are very difficult to take. I'll be taking some of those since this is a real-time run. A lot of IL runners use those strats since that's the most optimal, and you can obviously reset over and over doing an IL and not have to worry about resetting an entire run. Shout outs, by the way, to Mystical, who owns, I think, pretty much 80% of the IL records in this game, and also helped a lot with routing of the ILs as well. Also, shout outs to Extra Tricky, who routed a lot of these levels as well, including this one. And these challenge levels too, also, there are 100 dust particles in these levels. Each 20 count as 1 pigment. So basically there's still 5 pigments in the level, but I'm collecting all the dust particles as well. I'll basically typically be collecting all of them in the challenge levels that we do, with the exception of a few in the green world.
So, and with these levels, there's no checkpoint. So when you die, you have to start the level over.
Yeah, that's the most difficult part about those challenge levels as well.
So if you notice at the top, we're in the purple World Hub right now. It's a lot more colorful than it was before, of course, but we've got 50 out of that 140, just went away. You need 50 to unlock the boss, and we are there now. So here we have the vultures.
Yep, this boss is pretty interesting. You just need to, basically, we have strats to stand in certain places to guide these fireballs to hit the vultures. The aim is to have the fireballs hit the vultures. In order to do that, the game just crashed.
Oh no.
You need to patch
there
that.
Dev in the house.
Oh no.
This has never happened before.
Wow.
So I'm closing the program. All right, we'll get this right back up soon. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. The data should save, so it's not like I have to start the run over again. Hang on 1 second. Whoops, that's not the right one.
Meantime, we've got a $100 donation from Space Cowboy. Hey, TGH, try not to die too much. No more than 15 times.
It's too late,
right?
man. It's too late. Sorry, I don't know why that happened.
We've also got a $20 donation from Efren Deer. It says, hello AGDQ, hello TGH. Hope you'll have a wonderful die run. Hopefully.
Yeah, it should have auto-saved.
Which I'm dying to watch.
Should've.
And TGH, no return of the slurry speech, please.
Yeah, we'll be right back to the vulture boss, which hopefully will be
Oh, there we go.
glitch
All right,
free
cool.
this time.
We're right back there. Okay, as I was saying, so you're standing at certain points to guide the fireballs back to hit the vultures. The first one's easy. You just got to stand right in the middle on top, or you can stand in the middle there. In the meantime, avoiding all the fireballs that are eventually going to hit the vultures.
So in a casual playthrough, this boss can be pretty hectic because you end up having multiple vultures on the screen at once with seemingly random fireballs. But once you get the strat down and know where to, you can manipulate where the vultures and the wizard are shooting the fireballs and pretty much make it very clean.
Yep.
Shout out to Taizan, who is the vulture king.
The vulture king, yes. So there's a specific strat I can try here to get a quick kill. See if I can get it. It's very precise, especially the last fireball. Stand here. I'm gonna stand there. I feel like I got it. Let's see. Just gotta wait, kinda. Nope, I didn't get it. Okay, so that's like a couple seconds lost. It's very precise, especially the last fireball.
We get to hear
Yeah,
more of the
so that's
soundtrack,
Vultures.
though.
There we go. 8 minutes, first world.
And that's purple. It's purple. That's the first world. So now we're going to move on to blue.
Now, as far as the game goes, the difficulty ramps up dramatically starting around blue. TGH makes it look easy, but the difficulty definitely starts to spike around now.
Should we count that as an intentional death, by the way? Or an unintentional death? Or multiple?
I don't think you actually died, so
I didn't die.
yeah.
The game died. I didn't. It's not my fault.
I
So
blame,
purple
I
we-
blame Mike.
Yeah, that's probably on me. Purple, we saw a few mechanics, and in blue, some of the themes are these levels are much larger. So in a casual playthrough, they can be more difficult, especially the hard modes. But here, even in level 1, we start to see ice melting. So light yourself on fire with a torch, and you can keep that fire going by hitting some more torches, and that's how you melt the ice to get the pigments.
And one of the things with the fire, as you whenever you ignite yourself, if you use the float while ignited, it'll actually put it out. So it forces you to kind of change things up a little bit.
Yep. We're getting to some parts where we're going to have some tricky jumps start to happen.
Yep. These jumps, you learn pretty quickly playing casually that it's not as simple as just holding up against the wall and jumping around those spikes. Specifically those jumps on the walls around the spikes. Here's where the game starts to tell you, you really need to start to change your trajectory in midair, if you can. Where am I going? Wow, I thought I was on a different level.
I can confirm for my own casual play that those jumps are indeed much harder than they look.
By the way, the soundtrack for this game is absolutely awesome, and every song was composed by Minern on the couch. So, shout outs to him.
Thank you. Yeah, we got a lot of positive feedback about the soundtrack.
Okay.
Oh no.
That's no big deal.
I think the general consensus was that the Vulture theme was the favorite in chat.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my
certainly.
favorite from the soundtrack for sure was the Vulture theme.
My favorite is the final boss track, but we never get to the end drop of the TGP.
Never hear the second half of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here's another pretty tricky jump.
Yeah, so those jumps are very difficult casually. You need to sort of learn how to maneuver those in order to get past that part. Notice that a lot of the titles of these levels are actually named after some pop culture references. Some of them are pretty obvious.
We got pop culture references. We've got some movie and book references, and we've got some. We even got a name after Velhart, who is a streamer that's in the. I don't think he's in the crowd right now, but he's on premise. He was the first guy to beat this 100% upon release. So, and then we've got the whole world, of course, which is named after TGH.
Yeah, it was fun watching Velhart 100% that for the first time. That was interesting for sure.
The game has changed quite a lot since then. And for the speedrunning community specifically, you'll notice there's quite a few functionality built in. We do have IGTs, so we've got in-game timers. We've got IL timers, full game. We track the different categories, 100%, 80% no hard mode, which is what we're watching here. You won't see this here, but we do have a ghost system, and if you're not familiar with that or not sure what I mean, it's basically once you defeat a level with all 5 pigments, so once you 100% a level, then if you play that one from now on, then you'll have a little ghost there, which basically has recorded and tracked your path, so you can practice against yourself, which is kind of neat.
There's a faster cycle I can make in this level, or not faster. It's just the best cycle. Requires pretty tight movement around this part right here with these moving spikes. So let's see if I can get it. If all is done correctly, I won't have to wait for these spikes at the end of this hallway, and I got it. Nice.
Nice.
And part 2 is this. All right, nice, cool. This part looks really cool if done correctly.
Flame.
Nice.
Yeah,
Very nice.
that's
Yeah, so
one of my
keep-
favorite
very clean.
sections.
Keeping in mind, you can't float during that section either, or else you snuff out the flame. So you can go underneath that, but you won't get the pigment as a result.
Yeah, so there are quite a few places within the levels that there are easier routes to take, but they do take longer.
And of course, we're missing a lot of the insane Midge IL strats.
Oh yeah, I can't do what Midge does.
Do not try at home. On the keyboard, no less.
I have 1 IL record for this game, and Midge is going to take it probably today.
I think he's working
During
on it
this
right
run.
now. Yeah, I think he said something like that on Discord.
My claim to fame for ILs.
And quick clarification for anyone unfamiliar with what they're talking about there. IL refers to individual level,
Yes.
so the
Yeah,
best
sorry
time
for
on a
not
single
clarifying
level. We've also got a $5 donation from Chef47. Glad to see Die at GDQ, and even happier to see Tej running another game. Proud of you, my man. Bust Die wide open. Good luck on Crash Percent from Kraz and I both.
Thank you, dude.
So yeah, you may recognize Tej from last year's Undertale run, which was a big hit. So we're very pleased to have him representing our game as well. That was an awesome run.
So, fun fact about this level. This level is actually patched, basically in order to accommodate the speedrun community. I used to have to wait a really long time for this cart to come back, but now it just kind of books it back, and it makes this pigment up here actually faster to get. It used to be slower.
It used to
And
be
we
a
used to-
skippable pigment.
We
Yeah.
used to make it up in Blue Challenge 4, I believe, but yeah, but now it comes back a lot quicker. One of the many ways, honestly, that this game has really accommodated the speedrun community, which you don't find too often these days, actually. I think it's pretty awesome.
And on this level, you'll see a strat which Tej has come up with.
Gonna try
Was
it.
today, yesterday?
Something like that. So we used to self-destruct, or I used to self-destruct rather, on this checkpoint right here. But I recently found the way to skip that. It's a lot tighter to get this cycle. You can skip the bottom half of this part of the level by doing this strat. So you basically skip that, but then this part is pretty tight. I actually might miss it.
So basically, if you hit those lasers,
Okay,
you'll get frozen and just fall to your death.
good. So that was pretty
Very
perfect right there.
nice.
Right, so that whole segment was one of those things that the speedrun community found, and we were just completely dumbfounded. It's not something that we had intended, or they skipped the entire section, and we left it in because it was just fun to watch.
We'll have another unintended skip coming up.
This looks really cool if done correctly. If done correctly.
Looks like he's gonna get it.
Nice. So you're supposed to use that orange flame right there to melt that ice, but it's slightly faster to use the green one. Keeping in mind you can't float, which makes that strat pretty difficult. Probably the most important level in the blue world right here. Very long challenge level. It's about a minute long, and if you die again, you have to either restart the level or get your last couple of pigments in Blue Challenge 4, which is pretty slow.
We've got a $50 donation from Maggie Obi-Wan. TGH, good luck on the die run, and don't forget to hug the goat. No, wait, that's the wrong game. Hug the spikes?
Oh no.
I blame Maggio for that death, let's be honest. What's up, dude? Thank you, man.
We've also got a $50 anonymous donation. Had to donate during Tej's Super Meat Kirby run. This week, my dad starts his second battle against cancer, and we're all hoping it'll be successful and lead to many more years of gaming together. Thanks for all that you do.
I did not do that part correctly. Whatever. So this end part is completely cycle based, so I'm just gonna wait for the cycle to come back. There we go. Oh, that was weird. That was kind of close. We're fine. All right, so now we're headed over to Ice Golem, which is the boss of the Blue Worlds. There's a little bit of a speed strat here involving this dude. We're gonna skip a cycle, or we're gonna try at least. So he shoots.
So basically, this dude gets really mad,
Yeah.
throws a tantrum, lights himself on fire, and allows you to melt the ice blocks and get away from him. He's not very smart.
Somehow the ice doesn't melt. Can you explain that?
No. Video game logic.
Doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. Why are there floating eyeballs that shoot fireballs?
I mean, get with it, guys. Come on. Seriously, this is just plain physics.
Little slimes with spiky helmets.
All right, so one last little thing to avoid here.
This boss is very important to do first time because it's a huge backtrack to die there.
And that's blue. 10-16 isn't bad. Sub 10 is obviously possible, but I think that death in Challenge 3 was kind of costly, yeah.
The blue levels
Whatever.
are significantly longer than the purple levels as well.
Yeah, so now we're going to get into the green worlds, or as I like to call it, the yellow worlds. And you'll see why. But yeah, so it starts to introduce a lot of puzzly elements, including teleportation mushrooms, or whatever they're officially called.
Yeah, they're little mushrooms.
Yep. Just yeah, it's yellow. See.
They
Just to
refer
me,
to
it
as
looks yellow.
shrooms in the achievements.
So I think this is really the first level where a casual player will look at it and go, what do I do? Like, what is the objective here? It's not apparent at first.
Right, so there's the teleportation mushrooms, which you introduced here, and then there's also the little moving platforms that he's on, and then the springboards. And the springboards definitely take some practice.
This part's a little bit trial and error. You just have to like kind of go in the mushrooms and
That's where the first
see what's
puzzle-
there
puzzle
before you-
elements really start to evolve,
yep.
emerge.
This is probably one of my favorite levels in the game, though, because once you finally figure it out, there's something kind of satisfying about it.
This level's pretty cool. Honestly, all these levels are cool. Especially like the mid to later green levels I'm really a fan of, like green 6 and green 4.
The second half right here coming up is pretty tricky from here on out. So this jump right here looks pretty simple when he does it. It's very difficult for a casual run.
Yeah, so again, all of the level design was done by Mike, and he did an awesome job.
And then here,
This part you just kind of have to throw yourself up here and hope you don't get hit, and I didn't.
nice.
That's cool.
Very nice.
Yeah, the cycle can kind of screw you over there, but if I just say, like, there's a checkpoint right there, so if I die, it's like, so be it. I lose 2 seconds or whatever. Well, I'm going the wrong way.
$5 anonymous donation says, good luck on the run, Tej. I went to bed early and woke up especially early just to watch you.
Thank you. This part can be tricky, so if you blink, you miss it. That pigment... Oops, I died. It's hard to talk and play this game. That pigment over on the right is the only pigment that we skip in a normal level that we do, and we get that back in Green Challenge 2, I think it is. One of the first green challenge that we do, we get it back in.
That last one requires you to ride that slow platform all the way down and then do a jump over, and it's just not worth it.
Now we have seen players actually. There's a diagonal row of shorter spikes, and you can actually wall jump off of the side of those platforms.
That is stupid hard.
It's insane.
Stupid hard.
But we have seen it done.
This is one of my favorite levels. Just kidding, I hate this level. All right, there are 15 intentional deaths in the run, so we're gonna take the total deaths at the end and subtract 50, and then that'll be the total.
Speaking of, we've also got a $20 donation from Remedial Gaming. It says, TGH, the swag duck is behind you. $1 for each unintentional death.
Very nice.
Thanks, dude.
We've got $20 from Kona Rican. Must donate for such an original game and one that looks so fun. Take some greenbacks for such a wonderful cause. Let's work together to stop cancer from making people so blue. I hope this donation is red, just so I could work in one more pun.
Fantastic.
Very nice.
This level aptly named Parkour.
Yeah, and this one you spend very little time on the ground.
Oh,
Stupid deaths. There we go. That pesky spike. All you have to do is jump to get over.
$10 donation from Mental Mute 2. Shout out to TGH and the devs. Keep up the awesome work and help others keep the colors vibrant.
yep. So you just saw the spike wall open up above. So
Yep, we just got to make it back in time for that one.
yep. It's a loop around.
There's supposedly a strat to get that with some stupid wall jump, but I'll leave that to Midge. So this part of the level, you can actually jump through these diagonal bullets, but I'm not going to try that. You can, but it's pretty luck-based, basically.
I don't think I've even seen that done.
I've done it on accident before. Alright, so this level is ultra confusing for a casual player at first. You need to set off that left cart first before hitting the right one, so that when you take this mushroom up here to teleport back toward the left side of the level, this cart is on its way back. Way up there.
So there is water in the levels, and Hugh can't swim.
Yeah, he's got no arms. He also can't grab the bottom of the platforms there, which can take some getting used to because he has no arms.
So one other thing about the hub worlds is that as you grab the pigments throughout each level, they actually reappear into the hub world. So if you go through and collect all of them, you could end up seeing all 140 pigments floating around the hubs.
Best track in the game right here. Best music track in the game.
Yeah, this is the Vultures theme,
Oh,
actually.
So it's right there.
So after you beat a boss, the track from each boss will be reintroduced into the levels. And that was a request from the community, actually.
All right, so that pigment that I skipped in green 3, we're gonna get back here, And this level is actually really convenient to do because these first 20 dust pigments are pretty convenient. And then there's just a spike right there. Just jump into it after 20 straight. And that counts as one.
So that made up the earlier one.
A 9-second level.
All right, this level's super important. This is one of the more challenging levels in the game when you're, especially when you're on pace for a decent run, which I'm not really, but.
Because right here it keeps you up in the air for quite a while.
Yep.
But this is my personal favorite level in the game. I absolutely love this one.
And once again, dying on these challenge levels sets you back all the way at the beginning, so there are no checkpoints. All right, that was okay.
Very nice.
Good,
There you go.
nice.
Very nice.
All right, my buddy. Give him a little kiss. Slime King. So, other fun fact, I died so many times playing this game casually that they had to nerf it.
A few times.
Yeah, this boss, though, I can leave further explanation up to you guys, but this boss has been through several iterations.
Yeah, so this boss has been through quite a few iterations, actually, but the mechanics themselves are pretty straightforward. Whenever the Slime King actually lands, he'll spit up a bunch of slime or fireballs, or whatever you want to call them. And then the Necrolite will actually summon fire onto the ground. So it's all about just progressing through the level and trying to make it to the end while dodging everything that the level throws at you. So
A big part of mastering this is understanding how to keep tabs on what's happening above you so you don't get caught by surprise by these fireballs. The other thing that goes on here is he just took the mushroom down below. For the extra boss achievement, there's actually a path. If you see some the little springboards that we just passed by, you can go up over that spike wall. And if you do that, then you get the extra achievement and unlock an extra skin for this boss.
This part is tricky right here. All right, we got it. Nice. So that part is slightly luck dependent. Or it's luck dependent to get a. That's a really good green sign, by the way. Actually.
yeah.
It's slightly luck dependent to get a fireball pattern that's not like ultra hard to avoid. But I will certainly take a first try Slime King there, and that's green or yellow, aka.
One world left.
Awesome.
Yep, one world left, and it is not the easiest world.
Oh, no.
The game throws everything it has at you for this last world, so better be prepared.
Well, to celebrate that awesome green world, we have a $500 donation from Pans2.
Wow.
Simply says, shout out to the Graveyard Crew. Good luck on the run, Tej. Runner's choice.
Thanks, dude. Crash.
Oh, no.
This honestly, this is surprising because
I don't
this
think
game
I've
is
ever seen it
really
once crash.
this game is well made, and I've never seen it crash like this. I was playing it earlier on this computer and it wasn't crashing, so I'm not sure what's going on.
In the meantime, we got a $10 donation from PDX Geek. It's amazing to see a game played live with the devs. As a software developer myself, I'd like to ask you if you planned all the paths for many of the sequences or were planning something different. How did it make you feel to see the changes? And thank you, AGDQ, for putting this all together.
Do you want to take that, Mike?
Could you read the question again?
Oh no, so they were basically asking about the paths. I'm assuming them in the level design paths.
Yeah, they certainly found quite a few unintended paths, even unintended strats. I mean, the auto scroller intentional deaths on checkpoints, that was certainly a surprise.
There we go.
There's several levels like the one Teach pointed out in Blue World where we actually changed an entire section of a level to suit the community, and they were taking a path we weren't expecting, and it ended up taking a lot longer than they were having to skip that whole section entirely, so we band-aided it. But yeah, it's really interesting what happens when you go from just internal playtesting to people getting their hands on it that really know what they're doing and speedrunning, and some really awesome stuff ends up happening.
Well, and the speedrunning community can pick apart a game really quickly.
Sure.
So they provided a ton of great feedback.
It's a hard thing right there. There we go.
Obviously, they didn't tell us about all the game crashes, but that's fine.
I've never had the game crash on me. I'm not sure what's going
I've
on.
never seen it crash.
It might be.
Before this.
It might be something to do with the flash card or the flash drive.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. Off Steam, this game will most likely never crash on you.
If it does, let us know. You can find us on Twitter. And this level is the level that I struggle with the most. That whole section right there, he made it look easy, and that one section is the hardest section in the game for me.
The second half's difficult too. It's very easy to. Yep, that skull can really catch you right there on that bounce up. So speed right there is really important. He got around it really easily.
So one of the new mechanics that we introduced in Red here was you see the little skulls that'll start chasing you around, and there's these little locks that you can trigger to actually disable the skulls. So it'll make the level a little bit easier for you, but it typically will lock out a pigment, so you'll lose being able to collect one of those pigments, but you'll make the level a little easier for yourself.
Right. It's typically a casual run strat where you don't care about getting all the pigments. You just want to get 50 for the world and advance to the boss and beat the game. For here, we never use that.
Once again, utilizing self-destructing on checkpoints just to scroll the screen further forward.
Got a generous $152 donation from Ack the Boca. It says, when will TGH go to Turtle Rock?
I blame Ack for that death. Shoutouts to Ack the Prophet.
That's a pretty hard thread the needle there.
Okay, good.
This level's called Patience, and if you've ever played this level, then you'll know why.
This level is called Patience, and I have none, so.
Very nice.
The beginning half of this level, too, is treacherous.
T just quoted this level many times as being the hardest one in the game, especially this jump coming up right here. There we go.
Yeah, that's it. You have to kind of like S-shape your jump there a little bit, get past that.
We do have a little tombstone with a death tracker up in the top left-hand corner, and it tracks it per level. And watching people on Twitch play is always fun because, I mean, we've seen some levels that have been in the hundreds of deaths, and
I've seen that past level reach almost 1,000.
That's crazy.
There are some very dedicated people.
Yes.
We've got a $150 donation from Atkasha. Thanks for making me stay up. As always, all the best to you, TGH.
Thanks, Akasha. Can I beat this? This level's called Aerials for a decent reason, I would say. This level's called Critters for another
movie.
decent reason.
More slimes with spiky helmets.
Oh, come on, man.
Got a $10 donation from Ghost King. Hey, it's my dude, TGH. Said I couldn't be there this time. Was awesome hanging out last AGDQ. Hope to be at SGDQ again, though. Good luck in the run. Thanks to the devs for coming out and offer some insight to this neat game. Cheers, Ghost King.
Yeah, well, thanks, Ghost King. Only 2 deaths. Not bad.
The world record is not deathless, by the way.
No, it's not.
I think we may have mentioned that, but it's something like 14, 15 deaths, so.
At least we died early on the challenge level, so it wasn't.
Right. As far as I know, there's never been a deathless run.
Oops. Okay. That's fine. Sort of. Maybe not. Let's see if I can juke this skull. Got him. Okay, there we go. Oh, nope, I missed one. Nope, not good. I thought I got him, but I didn't.
Have a $5 donation from Dark Art 800. Hey Tej, don't forget that the boots are in redacted.
Oh
Oops,
my
didn't mean
God.
to give you a spoiler. Anyway, good luck in this run.
I did the same thing. We'll get through this level eventually.
Also have a $20 donation. Hey Tej, Abutu here. Awesome to see you run a game at GDQ again, and to see the devs supporting our community for their game. Keep up the great work.
I'm sorry, Duke.
This is not an easy segment.
Well, these are challenge levels for a reason.
There we go. Very nice.
There we go.
Awesome.
Saved.
So this level, you hit the timer there, and it opens up a gate up top. And it's kind of risk reward for how much you want to try to chew off the level by how much you want to, just how many dust particles you want to get before actually entering this area.
Extra Tricky, who is on premise somewhere around here, has the IL level for this one by an insane margin. None of us have any idea how he pulled that off.
We're doing this.
All right.
We're going to activate this skin.
So the way the skins work in this
Whoops.
game is you basically get a base skin for defeating the boss, and then an extra skin for defeating an extra boss achievement on that boss. So here he's defeated this boss before, so he gets to wear his horns as a trophy. Which looks totally natural.
So this is the final boss. So basically he's going to throw, there we go. He's going to throw a bunch of skulls at me, and then I'm supposed to collect these jewels, shaped like keys, or with keys on them rather, in order to make the skulls disappear. Mage comes over, sets the platforms on fire. It can be easy to die if you don't pay attention, but the strat I use is pretty okay, pretty manageable. And time ends once the final skull is gone, or the final key is gotten. Yeah, so before my time is up, I just want to thank, first and foremost, I want to thank the devs for coming out and being on the couch, showing support. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Like,
this has been great. This has been a lot of fun.
I was saying earlier, probably the only instance this GDQ where the couch actually knows more than the runner about the game, and as it should be in this case. But yeah, thank you guys very much.
Well, it's fun to actually see somebody play it at this level of proficiency as well. I mean, it's a little mind-blowing.
We do have a Discord for speedrunning. Die if you want to join.
Yeah. We're all active there.
There we go. And time's coming up on this last jewel, and time.
Very nice.
Nice.
So yeah, that's Die. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I certainly enjoy it. It's an awesome game. It's just a clean game. If you're looking for a good challenge, it's a really nice side-scrolling platformer, precision platformer, simple controls, but very precise gameplay. If you guys are interested, give it a shot. Even try speedrunning.